All right, back for part 2 of our video here. We've been testing out the newest build for hardware 3 12.6, running some errands here before this pending storm, so getting a good chance to test things out, see how things go. As you can tell, there's a lot of construction going on, coming up on turning into Highway 380. Great awareness. That vehicle was well above, far past the line, so course corrected a little bit, but yeah, we are traveling currently on Highway 380. It is one of the major highways out here in North Dallas, North Texas. So they're in the process of expanding things out, accommodating more vehicles, obviously because of the growth over the past several years. So with that, definitely a great opportunity to see how FSD handles temporary roads and lane changes. As you can see on the ground here, there's just dots and marks and things everywhere. From the dash perspective here, it's still picking up the lines. Does a pretty good job at staying, for the most part, in the middle. I know in previous builds I've had the vehicle favor the left side, and then when I'm hearing reports of hardware 4 where vehicles are favoring the right side, so some tinkering there that needs to be done, but for what it is, it stays in the lane more often than not. My profile and setup and everything, which I'll leave in the comments. This is currently set for hurry mode, so a little bit more aggressive with lane changes, overall turns, acceleration. This is more like how I would drive, so that's why I have that set for that. But yeah, we are gonna take a trip. This is pretty much a straight line trip, not too many twists and turns. Going to this destination, going to the grocery store here, so those familiar with Trader Joe's is about 35 minutes from our starting point, so a little bit of travel, but it's definitely going to be nice to see how it handles potential traffic. It's in the afternoon here, so we'll start seeing that type of traffic. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we are preparing and prepping for a snowstorm, so it's kind of we'll see what happens type thing. Well, not really. I mean, I 90% plus chance it's gonna snow, so it's just how many inches. So a lot of people are out getting their last minute items, things like that. I'm doing the same, but we are here and we are going. So far so good. I'm in the I'm in the hurry mode. I have an offset of 40%, so currently the speed limit is 60 and I'm doing 55. I won't say it's a little slow, it's starting to pick up a little bit more. Still nothing too aggressive, which, you know, I'm not necessarily mad at. I think we're now just approaching the speed limit of 60. You know, if I was driving myself, I would be probably like 62, 63. So it's not too far off. Not in a rush, so I'm not, you know, necessarily anxious to get where I need to go, but at the same time, we have to respect obviously respect the laws of the road, but move with the flow of traffic as well. So just now starting to pick up a little bit more. It's always nice having these drives, just being able to sit back, obviously still attentive, ready to take over at any time, but just being able to sit back, not have to worry about touching pedals, touching steering wheels. I think one of the great things that's being utilized, and even compared to other I guess we could say competitors for FSD, but not really. Utilizing the cabin camera in order to allow the driver to not have to nudge at the wheel after however many seconds. That's the largest win, I think, by far, since I've tried the full self-driving back in 2020, 2021 is when we had our first Model Y, and so that was a game changer. I think, you know, first doing FSD, checking it out, and it's like, wow, this is cool. It's like, oh, I got to nudge and make sure, you know, it knows I'm paying attention. That makes sense, right? But at the same time, it's like after a while, it's like, all right, like, how many more seconds can I get before you make me nudge to make sure I'm paying attention? That's what I always thought back then. So moving on, now that we have the Model X, driving this around, and then, you know, having the ability to just go, and I've gone pretty far. So when I picked this vehicle up, this was from Houston, it was about a 4-hour drive, and the majority of that drive, I would say at least 90% of it, FSD, when I did use it, no interruptions. So there are a couple times, obviously, if we, you know, sun glare, me not paying attention or messing with something, you know, it'll tell me to, you know, nudge. But outside of that, you know, 4 hours more or less, I can say consistently 2.5 hours with no interruption was lovely. So definite improvements there. And so yeah, I definitely enjoy it. Apologize ahead of time for some wind noise. I have a service center appointment and a new mic on the way, so hopefully both of those can improve that. Also have some soundproofing or sound dampening tools that I purchased, so gonna do a little bit of everything in order to make this cabin as quiet as possible. Getting some wind noise, had some tint done, things of that nature, and I would say that's what caused it, but it did make it worse, so I'll be going in. I think that's a common issue there. Not a biggie though. Obviously I'm driving now, so get that taken care of. But as we can see, good amount of traffic starting to gather up. I won't say pile up, but gather here. It's almost 4 o'clock, so that makes sense. So I wouldn't think anything too exciting, but you know, for most folks, especially getting off of work, the traffic piece, depending on where you're at, is a real thing. So being able to have FSD to essentially get you from point A to point B is definitely helpful. A lot of my rides, 0 interventions. Yikes. Somebody has a definite flat. We had something there. Some folks not paying attention, braking at the last minute. FSD did its job. And it's like, matter of fact, let's just get out of that lane. Let's see it probably switch back. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with whoever was in front. So it did recognize something was going on in front, as well as a person to the right side of me suddenly stopping. So that's great awareness. Definitely appreciate that. That's one of the major points of FSD, and just being able to utilize that is having it see certain things that even myself would not be able to catch or see. Performance. So still on par speed limit wise, going 55 and a 55. So that's definitely good. Like I said in the previous build, 12.5.4.2, it would at times favor going much slower than the flow of traffic, so I'd have to nudge in order to get it up to speed. For those that aren't aware, nudging is essentially tapping the acceleration pedal in order to kind of get it up to speed. And it's like, you know, while the feature is good and it's needed in certain situations, the whole point of FSD is not having to initiate something like that. It's just picking up and obviously respecting the speed limit while visually paying attention to the flow of traffic and, you know, things like that. So with my route, it did switch up the path, so, which, you know, again, I don't mind. So we may have a little bit more excitement than what was previously planned. Going straight, hitting the highway, making a right is essentially a straight shot, but going this way, we'll have a couple more turns. Don't mind it. Made a right turn. I guess that right turn could have been better, but I'm not mad at it. I'm trying to think from the previous build. The turn was kind of one and the same. Again, I know the highlights of this build in particular was bringing up the end-to-end highway piece. I think folks that are in the community and have had a chance to test that on their Hardware 3 vehicle, most have said that that is a major improvement from the previous build. Things that are, you know, prevalent in version 13 for folks that have Hardware 4, they're trickling down to Hardware 3. So that's a big piece. Haven't had a chance to test that out in detail, but I certainly will. Again, what I can say so far is that the turning overall is definitely smooth, a little bit smoother than the previous build, so that's always nice to see, more human-like. So again, coming up to a turn here. I'm not sure what's here, but it's a good amount of traffic. Maybe a school. Nevertheless, handle that turn flawlessly. I have taken this route several times on previous builds, and that left turn is definitely improved, so that is a good thing to see. Still respecting the speed limit. We're doing 43 and a 40, and that's me. That's what I would typically do. So a large improvement from that. Now we did stop, and I'm not mad at that either. I'd rather stop at a light than try to run it. And what I can say is that vehicle that did make that left, they were edging out, okay, while the light was turning from yellow to red. In the past, FSD would have contemplated, because it's happened to me before, whether it should go, whether it should stay. It would do some funky stuff. It may even just tell me to take over. So large improvement there, major improvement on that. It recognized a vehicle that was edging out on top of the light change and just said, hey, let's stop here. Let's be assertive. Let's be confident and just take the safe route, which I fully appreciate with that. So far so good. Lights are working in our favor. So we have that vehicle crossing over, respected that, still kept the speed with the flow of traffic. The limit is 40. We're doing 47, going on 48, but with the flow of traffic, I don't mind that. I'd much rather go at the flow of traffic, whatever that may be, versus not and having a pileup of sorts. Again, that's what was present in the previous build. So from my perspective, again, definite improvement there. So one thing that I noticed is the vehicle changing lanes while going through an intersection, and that's not the greatest, especially by state. I know maybe some states may handle that differently. That's typically a no-no, so one thing there to call out. Okay, right turn could have been better. This vehicle out in front. So in this hurry mode, it's gonna take what it feels is the quickest path. Kind of caution for that car turning, which they did kind of come out a little wide, so I don't necessarily mind that. Being cautious. Because you can't ride it past people. We have an on-ramp coming here, and folks that are coming out of these shopping centers just darting across to try and get on the on-ramp. So I don't mind that action at all. Okay, we have this vehicle approaching us to the right. Okay, you see that? So basically a scenario where the lane was running out. We tried to make an effort to get over. The vehicle, that Expedition wouldn't let us. Expedition didn't realize what was going on, and that's that. It's another break. A little more aggressive. And I believe a part of this is, again, I am in a hurry mode. So while hurrying, if something does come up, you have to then hurry up and brake. So again, for me, it's nothing too crazy, but for folks that are new to FSD, things of that nature, I can certainly do drives on standard mode. to give an idea of, you know, what you all would probably typically be comfortable with. Coming into the shopping center, had a couple choices to make. Little hesitant on that. We did end up making a choice overall, but now we are at our location, so go in here and we'll report back for the next trip. Till then,